So this is Baruch Flashman, your Saba here at the Tigran Elevator Kollel, and looking at another, well, it's an episode, the story in this Zohar about these two rabbis who met in an inn, and there was a man here who was driving a donkey, and one went into a house, that is, that man, the donkey, and they started discussing the sleep patterns of David HaMelech. How is it possible that he could only sleep like a horse? What does that mean? And they start defining it, getting different kinds of ideas. In terms of the first part of the night, which is, he says, it corresponds to what we call the klipas noga, which is a mixed klipa, which is white on the top and black at the bottom, let's say, so to speak, like that. So the white part really is transparent, and you can move from that which is klipa into kedusha. You could actually elevate kedusha there at that place because there's a oneness that takes place there. But down below, in the lower part of it, is all darkness. So falling into the klipa noga is a very dangerous place. So here he says, at the first part of the night corresponds to the white part of the klipas noga. And then in the next part of the night, then you're getting deeper, so you wake up before you get to that part, and they put a name on it. And the name that he put on it is 60 breaths minus 1. Now, don't know really that much about it, really try to get a picture of what he's talking about. We're reading the Matat Midavash, and trying to translate it, try to understand it, and move on. So this idea of the 59 seconds, or the 60 seconds minus 1, because apparently if you got the whole 60 seconds, then that would be the taste of Misa. So 59 minus 60 minus 1 is the place where there is still no taste of Misa. So he says, and then it becomes controlled by a ruach that comes from the other side. Begin to shitin nish b'chad, because when you go to more than when you go to 60 minus 1, he said chaser chad ihu raza the high the le'ela. This is in the secret. This 59/60ths. My translation is the secret of the upper life, the upper source of life, getting closer and closer to the source of light. Ad shitin nishmi de'in shitin, until we get to 60 minutes, 60 breaths. The inun shitin nishmi iloin, that these are up to that point are really 60 shitin nishme breaths that are coming from up above. I don't know if that's picturing like a pulse beating. So, and these are really their secret. The salient b'chol that all life depends on them. And from there, going downward, Raza the Misa, Raza the Musa, it's in the place of death. Raza is the secret, the Musahu, that is the Sata, that's the secret of death. So he's talking about those two halves of the night. That was what he was talking about before. Let's see about the Klipas Noga. And now we're going into the second half, or we're looking at the second half of sleep, the part in which we find the Klipas Noga. So David Malko. So this David, this is what he was careful about, the lo yitam tamid the booster, that he shouldn't taste the taste of death. So this is why he guarded, and he made sure that he would get up at midnight, Kadesh lo yitam tamid the musa, so that he shouldn't taste the taste time misa, time side of death. And so that he should, v'lo yishlo lo loven, should not take control of him. Hatzad shal ruach acheres, the side of that other spirit, spirit of physicality. So remember, we're hearing something that's being said by the man who's driving a donkey. The donkey, the word is chamor, which is Chum or Vav, it's carrying a certain kind of a burden. It's humorous in physicality. So he says that's what you're talking about when you talk that ruach acheres shalaklipos. So it gets us into our bodies. Begin to this number, shishim neshima, 60 neshimas chaser, neshima achas missing, less one. Shah adam yashin, that a person sleeps. It's the same thing. We're trying to understand that. Still not 100% clear about how you get from 60 breaths. It corresponds to the same concept of those 66. I guess it means corresponds to the same level of whiteness that he said. In other words, transparency between goodnesses. It looked like an open door. When things could be good, so that those 60 breaths correspond to the first 6 hours, but then after that things go black. So he said, until you get to 60, it's still all in the concept. Now again, 60, he says, corresponds, the Zohar says it corresponds to 6 hours also. So I don't know how that goes. Because what you're really talking about here is 60 breaths that are coming from a much higher place. Those are 6 akbar breaths. They're coming from higher word, from Atzilus. So he says, so this is their secret, the Saldian B'chochai, that in those first Shishim Chaser Achas, there is the secret of life. Let's see what he writes. So this secret about them, that life is really dependent upon them. That is, when you're talking about, that's what he says. So let me read again. So this is the secret, that the Chaim depends on them. Who? That is, Chaim really depends on that upper half of the Noga. And then after you get past that, those upper half, and he's talking about, that corresponds to the first 6 hours of the night. Mikan v'lamata, from here going downwards. So a person who passes over that middle time of the night in sleep, Rosa the Musahu, a person now in the secret of death, who's sod hamisa, who yored b'chetzi hara, the klipas noga, because it goes down into the bad part of the klipa noga. Remember, klipa noga is an interchange. Things get lost there. They want to get back, and to find their way back can be, quite a trip. Anyway, this is Baruch Fleischman. It's a lot to think about. I'm your old Saba here at the Tikkun Elevator Call Out.